Welcome back to Red Deck Winning. In this matchup, we've got my green-red aggro deck versus Naya Hexproof. Naya Hexproof looks to be like one of the big decks coming out here for the new set. They've just gotten a bunch of tools. They've gotten the new 2-1 Hexproof Reach. They've gotten basically just a shell they can work with. Better mana with Mana Confluence. There's going to be a Hexproof deck, and it's going to be good. And this guy was just super cocky, threw it out. He's like, oh, I got a new deck and it's really good. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got a good one too. And he's like, well, maybe mine's better. And then he's just talking it up. Like, you'll see, it's funny. But anyways, so I get a pretty good hand here. I mean, this is what I want to see with my deck. Good aggressive start. If I draw a third land, we're going Reckoner into Domri and maybe other stuff. And I did right here. And obviously him starting out with the Temple is good for me. Now Hexproof is not a matchup that, it's a matchup that I played against a decent number of times with this deck, and it helped me make some of the changes that I needed to be made to be aware of it. It's one of the reasons I run a Destructive Revelry in the main deck, as well as 2 in the sideboard. They're also very good against control, of course, but it helps battle against this deck quite a bit. It really swings the tide. And as you can see, you can just have an aggressive start that just runs them over. They really can't do anything about Gore Clan, so as much as you can't target their creatures, you can just go to the face with most of your burn. I have seen this deck the Hexproof deck have some pretty explosive starts as well. They can really get some damage going. You'll see in game 2 what he does, but this time, as you can see, we're getting there. All right, moving on to game 2. And I've got the sideboard on this part of it too, on this video. So basically we're bringing in Revelries, we're bringing in Skullcrack since we can't really hit any of his creatures. Some Hexproof decks play Fleecemane Lion and Voice of Resurgence, so be aware of that. Against those versions you may want some more removal, like Searing Blood, that sort of thing. And you want, I think I didn't do it here, but I think I did it later in game 3. I think you want Scavenging Ooze instead of something in the deck, because I like Skylasher since Hexproof really relies on combat math heavily. So if they have madcap skills and they're swinging for the fences and they don't think that you can catch up, Skylasher is a nice end of turn flash in. But Ooze is nice to also counteract and get some life gain and get a big guy on the board. You don't have a lot of time to set him up, but it is something. But regardless, as long as you get the Skullcracks and the Revelries in there and just make your burn go to the face, that's what you want.